What's up, Comic Book Beatty here in the studio at San Diego Comic-Con, and you guys know these are always my favorite time of day when we talk Walking Dead. We got Daryl Dixon, the Book of Carol, in the studio. You guys having fun at Comic-Con yet?
Woo!
Yes.
Yeah, there it
Certainly.
is. You just went to Hall H earlier today.
Yes.
Yeah.
How was that your first time on a Hall H stage?
Yeah, it was first time at Comic-Con and even first time in America.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start there because I know we have some veterans of Hall H and Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I imagine they kind of prep you for what it's like to be in front of that many people, but then you get out there, what's it like?
Yeah, I mean, I had media training and everything, and then, you get out there, you see all the fans, it's really breathtaking. Yeah. See all those people cheering. So, yeah, I was really happy to do that.
Wait, you had media training?
Yeah, I
What do
did.
they do? They teach,
They just
what does that mean?
tell me,
We need
Really?
that.
yeah. I mean, they just ask questions and they
I didn't
just
know
train me,
this.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was
I
such
say,
a
watch
thing.
out for those Brandon Davises out there. We are super excited. Melissa, this is
Yeah.
the first time we've talked in
A long
years.
time.
I feel like
Yeah.
we used to do this like every couple weeks, and now here we are finally talking about it again. Carol's back.
I know.
Okay, what can you tell me? I'm sure we're going to find out as soon as the show starts, but what can you tell me about what Carol has been up to since the Walking Dead flagship ended?
Since the flagship ended, let's just say, I don't know, it's all just kind of a little bit of conjecture in your own head. Let's say she had a desk job at the Commonwealth. Yeah?
Yeah.
She used to be
quiet. It
out
was a
there,
quiet
she
period.
was outside the wall. She probably snuck out at night. She's like, I just got to get out and kill some zombies or something. This is driving me crazy.
When you put it that way, I see why Daryl wasn't trying to hang around. I can't.
I picture a version of that where she goes outside the walls and everybody's dead inside.
Oh!
The place is burned to the ground.
Yeah.
So
I need to find my friend.
Since 2010, the relationship between you two characters has been just almost everybody's favorite thing about the show. Like I remember that was one of the first things that really hooked me in. And one thing about Daryl, he is reluctant to accept people, at least to show that he accepts having people. So has discovering that Daryl kind of has people out in Europe put a strain on a bit of like the love that Carol and Daryl have for each other? What's that like?
That question's to you. I don't
is
know.
it?
Oh no, it's to both.
I thought you were a little jelly.
I don't know what's. I don't know what's happening. Carol doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah.
What are you talking?
I don't think so. I think, if anything, I think they're, Daryl's wondering if they're still around, if they've forgotten about him, if they miss him. He's trying to get back to them, but then he finds a sense of family with Laurent and his family. So it's, I think that's kind of where we're at.
I don't
in the
think he
story.
meant for anything to happen. It just kind of happened, and after all, this is a big world.
I start calling everybody in France Carol. Yeah. I'm like, hey, Carol. They're like, he's lost his mind. Yeah.
I love that.
Did you guys say during the panel where it is? Where the season
Yeah.
is taking place?
Yeah.
So people know we're going to Spain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Season 3.
No.
Oh, wait a second. Okay.
Oh.
Wait, did I? Wait, is that?
Oh man,
No. We did.
Oh, wait a second. Are you messing with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
that's
so,
how I feel when I'm on a panel, all the time. No matter what the question is, or what's coming out of my mouth, I feel like I'm just about to screw up.
You actually got me. I was like, did I just?
I
we're gonna
take
have
it
to
too
edit that out.
seriously.
No.
Yeah.
We mentioned it.
All right. So
Well, the confusing thing is we're dropping season 2 in a few weeks, but season 3 was announced taking place in Spain. Season 2 is in France.
Okay, so France is season 2. We're going to Spain. Why are we going to Spain? And maybe not in terms of story, but what kind of opportunities does that give you guys in the back to explore the world in ways you haven't yet?
Well, Spain just had a totally different vibe and culture and history that we thought was really would be really exciting to explore how the Walker apocalypse was affecting things there after having spent 2 years in France. And story-wise, it makes sense just that in their travels, they're trying to get back home, but they end up going south and ending up in Spain, But it's totally different. Sort of surprisingly different from what we saw in France when we get there for season 3. But season 2 is sort of the continuation of season 1, and that story, but with the added search of Carol for Daryl, and that sort of plays out a lot of the things that we set up in season 1, but even in bigger sort of greater ways.
Greg, what is the secret sauce for making a Walker with a French accent?
No baguettes.
Mayonnaise.
No baguettes.
No baguettes. No berets. No. Even though the zombie. You know, it's fun because we had done press tours in Europe a lot, and the show had such a huge fan base in Madrid, in Japan, everywhere that we went. So the people know the show, know the zombie stuff, and are really excited about it. So it's really kind of fun for us to take a show there where people who never thought that they'd be able to be a part of a Walking Dead show and be zombies. So all of our zombie extras were so excited and so enthusiastic about it. I think one of the first days they did the Thriller dance, all 100 zombies were had all gotten together and choreographed the Thriller.
Yeah, all our zombies in France are dancers.
Yeah.
So they twist and move in crazy ways.
Yeah.
Also, there's a system there where actors to get money from the government have to get a certain point system, right? Tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And so you'll have actors that are right there. All our background actors are like really good actors. Like there's no just extras. They all have a job as an actor in real life. So the whole level of the show and all of it's way bigger.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, one of the cool things was you got the sense that like the French were really excited. The crew's is like 95% French, and you got the sense they're excited to do their version of The Walking Dead, which is basically, you know, in some ways that's what the show is like. Let's take everything that made The Walking Dead great and special and cool, but funnel it through the lens of France. And the French folks that we worked with and the fans in the streets were just really psyched to sort of have a version that was infused by Frenchness.
Until we destroyed their building.
Until
Their neighborhood.
Until we put zombies to Louvre, and they didn't like that.
Yeah.
Were there parts of France that were harder to film in than others?
Yeah, I mean, we did shoot at the Louvre. It's pretty awesome. It's in season 2. We did some amazing stuff there. That was hard. It took us like over a year to secure the rights and the ability to go and shoot in the actual Louvre and outside the Louvre. Mont Saint-Michel, which is this beautiful location that we go to repeatedly. That was a hard one to secure, and we do. In season 2, it ends up being a big siege there, but it's this beautiful, island monastery.
But we never thought that we would ever get it either.
Right.
I think when we were planning season 2, we're talking about Mont Saint-Michel, the idea was we would shoot wide shots and then we would do it on the street someplace else. So when they said, oh, no, you could shoot here, but, you have to avoid all the tourists in the sand, and, we actually had to digitally remove a lot of tourists from some of these places because you can't stop them from going and seeing all these monuments and
But they let us break the Eiffel Tower in half.
Oh yeah.
They were like, go ahead.
Yeah, I saw those set photos for sure. Yeah, those
nobody
popped up online.
Nobody will notice.
And now it's the leaning Eiffel Tower of Paris. It's crazy to think. I mean, just having started this in Atlanta, 14 years ago now? I guess 15 for you guys, and now you're like taking over Paris. That's insane.
Yeah, it's really
Wild.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Wild.
When this picks up, what how do we find Carol? Like, what is our reintroduction to her? Can you talk about? Is it flashback? Is it just she's in Europe? How does that start for you? And what was your reaction to when you saw it, when they told you, like, this is the story we're telling with?
We really wanted the story to work because it's difficult to get a character to France. Obviously, she gets there, but I want this to be plausible. I don't want it to be, Carol. Carol does things. She has resources within herself.
She's pretty good.
She's
an amazing swimmer.
She rides on a dolphin.
If anybody was going to, it would be Carol.
But anyway, I don't want to tell you how to. I can't tell you how to unfold.
That's fair.
But there are aspects of Carol that are familiar to the viewers, and she's going to pull those. She's going to work it.
But when we first meet Carol again in this show, she's sort of in action already, trying to find Daryl. That's how we re-meet her. Mm-hmm. And then whatever happened between the end of Walking Dead and that moment, we learn that sort of over the course of our season.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. All right, Laurent. Highs and lows and twists and turns in season 1. Learning a lot of things that are hard to learn. I'd say there's some trauma for that kid, man.
Yeah, there is.
He needs some therapy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Is Daryl a good therapist?
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Can you talk about Laurent's journey after kind of setting the stage in season 1 and getting to know the character and everything that happened? Where does that put Laurent to start season 2?
You know, I mean, he's definitely a bit troubled because he's moved places now. They're just not in the same place. They don't live at the Abbey anymore. And it's a bit weird for him because there's a whole bunch of new people. It's a new environment for him. He's never been out of that circle of all the nuns, and now that they're all gone, he's trying to adapt even more. And I guess it's hard for him, but he's going to get through. Yeah, he's going to get through it.
I can't wait to see it. All right. I have a question for you, David. When you're writing this, when you're cooking in the background, the Walking Dead fan base is what makes this whole franchise tick, and it's so cool. But they're very vocal people.
Yeah.
How much of the input from the fans, the things they say, their thoughts, affects sort of your creative process? Are you kind of ever thinking about like, well, they will like this will piss them off, but in a good way? Like, how do you kind of take that into consideration, if at all?
I mean, I think we take that into consideration only in terms of like, let's be respectful and faithful to what the audience learned from The Walking Dead, the flagship show. So as long as you're like being truthful to that and authentic, then the audience, I think, appreciates that. So but there are times, I guess, where we go, oh, this would be cool to throw a little reference here or to throw a little acknowledgement, because the audience will know that we're paying attention. We're not just like, we're not just creating something out of whole cloth. We're trying to tell the trajectory of these characters that started 13 years ago and continues through our show. So we're aware of that, but it's not like we don't go look online and see what people are saying too much. And mostly what I have seen, is positive, and it appreciates both the ways in which we're consistent and loyal to The Walking Dead and the ways in which we're switching it up in little ways without going like all of a sudden, Daryl Dixon's a new guy. He's not a new guy. He's the same guy you knew and loved in The Walking Dead, but he is evolving. He's changing like people do. And same with Carol in season 2.
No, I can't wait to see where you guys are going with it. Season 1 was phenomenal, guys. It was awesome. So I hope season 2 is right there with it. Thank you guys so much for hanging with us at Comic Book at Comic-Con. Everybody stay tuned to Comicbook.com for more from San Diego Comic-Con. See you there.